morning, everyone. Also, I'm rarely absent or late for my obligations, and because I think that a responsible individual should be on time. Intelligence. I'm a consistent member of the Distinguished Honor Roll. I'm a member of the 1200 Club, and I take all honors classes, but I still manage to participate in several school-related activities like Model UN and Envirothon. Next, agreeable. As I said, I'm active in many extracurricular activities, so I try to set my social boundaries and be nice to everyone in general. So, compassion or understanding. So this is a difficult topic to really illustrate. I promise I'm here for interview if you need to listen, or shoulder to cry on. And ambition, I think this truth is pretty much self-explanatory. I would not be standing here today unless I desire more than what's expected. And a lot of times I'm very competitive, and this urges me never to settle for second place. Commitment is really a pivotal characteristic of small, and I believe that I possess that commitment. My experience is definitely also a positive attribute. I've been on GCAC for 3 years. I have attended one MASC convention, 2 legislative sessions, 1 middle school leadership conference, 1 high school leadership conference, 2 GCAC sponsored events, and 3 of the annual board meetings. I'm active in the high school student council and in GCAC, and currently I'm secretary of GCAC. Innovation. I'm going to tie this in with being creative because I think those things are hand in hand. Recently, I got the second place award for one of my art projects. I did a 3D model of a 3D portrait of an anthill. And also, I have kind of a proposition for our council because I know a lot of us have trouble remembering our meetings, and Sarah in the past has reminded us through email, but I thought that it would be neat if we could have just a simple website that we could have the dates and times of our meetings, because I don't know about you, but I've probably lost several of my GCAC papers from past year, and this would just remind everyone so they didn't have to, so Sarah didn't have to worry about it. She won't be here next year. So send us reminders. Okay. Dependability, and this is pretty simple. I've attended almost every GCAC meeting in the past 3 years, even when I was an alternate last year. And I've read the minutes for every meeting this year. Honesty is the best policy. Honesty shows morals and integrity. And I find there's no justification for lying. And I try, honestly, to be an honest person. The general definition of small basically be a student member on Board of Education, but this is not omnipresent at all. A small is not just a member. A small is a representative who must encompass the passions and attitudes of a county team. A small is not just an opinionated individual who pursues personal desires. A small is an individual who supports the beliefs of whom they embody. And I believe that I can be that individual, and I hope that you can believe in me too. So thanks for listening, or at least trying to listen to my speech. And I hope you take me into consideration for the position of student member on the Board of Education for the 2004-2003 school year.
Good morning. My name is James Slawinski, and I am running for student member of the board. As a member of Southern High School Student Council for 3 years, I have generated a good understanding of our school's needs as well as an open communication between myself and our administrators. The members of Southern Student Council know that I am not afraid to voice my opinions. I have also been an active member of GCAC for the past 3 years. In GCAC, I have taken office as the treasurer, and I am currently vice president. I believe that my experience and lack of shyness make me fully qualified to become a student member of the board for the 2004-2005 school year.
Okay, so
my question is, and I always ask one like this, did you make a sign for me?
Oh.
all involved in many aspects of school, community, church, whatever. How do you intend to fulfill the commitment necessary to this position? How, I mean, there will need to be sacrifices, and, you know, if you have games or things like that, how are you going to approach that conflict that might exist?
Well, I know for starters it's going to be a big conflict with all three of us because we play soccer. And I know for our school, our coach would not be happy for us missing practice, but I'm willing to sacrifice my sport for student member of the board because I believe that education comes before extracurricular activities, and it's more important for the members of the Board of Education to understand what the students want more than it is for me to kick a ball on the field.
Well, really, I've always put student council before other obligations because it's just been really important for me and it's been an interest for me for the past 3 years. So I don't think it would be really a problem for me to attend the board meeting, honestly. I know I do a lot of things, but I've always been at every meeting or every activity that I've ever been asked to do. I've never really had conflicts.
I have a lot of activities, and sometimes they do conflict with each other, but representing the students in the Board of Education is something very important that it shouldn't be taken for granted by other activities because all the student body is counting on you to represent them at their Board of Education, get their opinions in. So if you're not there, then the students aren't there.
Other questions? Annie?
I have a question. Yay. Okay. The role of student member on the board is to represent every student in the school, and since that seems like a physically impossible feat, how would you go about presenting diversified opinions on what the board asks you?
Okay, well, first of all, I think our individual student councils represent a lot of the different diverse ideas and beliefs in our school, so I think that a lot of my input would come down. Also, I associate with many different people in our school, I think, so it wouldn't really be a problem for me to get input from different groups, and I think that your point of it being physically impossible is correct, but I don't think that necessarily means that it is impossible. It just seems impossible.
Curious.
I disagree in the matter that more representation in our schools doesn't happen anyway. So being a social person and being a student member before it comes with a lot of responsibility to talk to certain people and know their opinions and know the opinions of the school. And just because the student council or the representation of the school means something doesn't mean all the students do. So you have to come with a median boundary between all the students and kind of come up with an answer that is okay with everybody and come up with a good solution. And that also comes with boundaries what the board agrees with, but the students are there and you need to be a voice for all of them, not just a certain body.
I know it is a particular problem for me to try to voice all the students' opinions because I know that my opinion gets in the way a lot. But for our student council meetings, I'm sure everyone knows that I always like to at least tell Mr. Woods one concern with our school because I feel like I'm not doing my job if I can't bring at least one problem to Mr. Woods because I know that there are tons of kids that are unhappy with our school. And I'm always like the week before student council meeting, I'm asking kids like, okay, what do you need? Like, is there anything you're not happy with? Is there anything that you really like and you wish we keep doing? And I take like notes all in my agenda book that I try to bring up to Mr. Woods during student council meetings. And I don't know, I kind of like nitpicking at different things, and I love when students give me their opinions. And I know it's very hard to get everyone's opinion, but I try to out with a lot of different groups of kids, so I do try to get a lot of different opinions on the school, and then I make the best presentation I can to our administrators and try to get the problem solved.
Okay, I have a question. What are some of your goals for yourself if you are elected student member board? Personal, like personal accomplishments. Mostly personal growth, being a more responsible person, learning more about our student body and knowing the opinions of others and trying to respect their opinions and build upon their opinion with my own and try to respect other people and be a better listener.
I'd say my goal is just, I only have one main goal, is to get the members of the Board of Education to fully understand what the students' needs are in the county and to try to help them in the best way possible to fulfill all of the things that the students would like to have.
Okay. Well, I agree with both of them. I think that we do need a little more representation as a board for our students, and I think Annie's done a good job of gaining some more representation, but I really think they need to hear more of the voices of all of us, and that's why you can't bring personal opinions to the board. You have to encompass everyone's opinion, and you have to bring collective beliefs. So I think that my personal goal is just to try to accomplish that as best as I can, and to, like Laura said, improve yourself too.
Next question, Asia?
Mine kind of relates to what Annie said about opinions of others, and how are you going to decide which ones are most important and which ones to bring up? Because I know sometimes, you might not feel that it's important, but others might. How are you going to decide?
I guess I would decide what's the most realistic problems and things that can be dealt with, because I know I brought up things about cheerleaders. I'm sorry, Laura. And I know they're ridiculous, and I just kind of like bringing it up. It's something I don't like in my school, but I know that it would be inappropriate to bring it up at a Board of Education meeting, and I probably wouldn't. But if students would give me concerns, I would just sort through them, and as long as they seem realistic and something that could actually be dealt with, I would bring them up. But things that are ridiculous, like, I don't know, having no homework, I think that would be something that would be hard to do, and I wouldn't bring that to the Board of Education meeting. But I just try to use my best judgment to see what would be appropriate for the meetings. But